Hey guys, this is Sandra Bear Davis, the Appalachian Medicine Woman. I want to talk to you about something just a little bit different now. You know, I am a medicine woman. I do my healing work, I teach, things like that. I wanted to talk to you guys today about why I feel, why I know everybody should be a prepper. Everybody needs to be a prepper. The feelings I get, the messages I get, and plus the training I've had in my life. Everything to me says right now, everybody needs to be a prepper. Now, I got to start by going into the history a little bit. I'm an Appalachian folk medicine practitioner. We are from Cherokee and Celtic people, my family specifically being Irish, that married in, moved way back into the back hills, and had to feed ourselves, had to doctor ourselves, had to protect ourselves or die. So, you know, I come from a long, strong line of people who are self-sufficient. It's a way of life. But like everyone else, as things have gotten more mechanized in this world, as we've gotten more tied into the modern world, you know, we, in many ways, have lost that. Not many folk medicine practitioners left in the world. People that work with laying on a hand's healing, work with herbs, you know, work with natural medicines, food as medicine, soup as medicine, that sort of thing. We want to go to the doctor and get us a magic pill. Sad to say, most of those magic pills are petroleum based, and they are going to cause more damage than they help. Now, I do appreciate modern medicine because of, you know, antibiotics, because of surgery, because of being able to fix injuries, traumatic injuries, things like that. So yes, I'm very much appreciative for that. And that's where I turn to. I had Lyme's disease recently, so I was on antibiotics. As soon as I got off the antibiotics, I'm now doing probiotics, black walnut tincture, blah, 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 because I really believe in natural medicine. But yes, modern medicine does have its place. But sadly, a lot of it causes problems, causes more physical problems that cause more medication and more medication, more medication. So I'm worried about the sustainability of the medical society as it is. Plus, so many people are unemployed, so many people don't have insurance, and don't have the means for expensive medicines. They don't have the means for all these tests and, you know, treatments. And the old ways are so inexpensive. The old ways take longer in many ways, but in many ways they're extremely superior to modern medicine. For 85-90% of things, I believe, I feel, the natural ways, the old ways, are superior to modern medicine because we're not petroleum based. We are based on the herbs and the energy and the higher dimensional beings, angels, fairies, that sort of thing. We work with crystals. You know, we charge water as elixirs. They're scientifically proving that water can change with thought. You know, we work with these ancient ways that work, and they're powerful. So I believe in kind of being prepared in that way, being a person who has the knowledge about healing ways, herbs, you know, the old healing ways. But it goes deeper than that even. I'm very worried about Monsanto. I'm very worried about them taking over the seed supply, and that the sacred seeds of the earth are being profaned by being genetically manipulated and altered. I foresee huge amounts of illness and death around this. I foresee food famines as people discover how just toxic these seeds are and this technology is, and then people burn it. People will burn it. But what could happen is that we have lapses in the food chain as we burn off all these terrible, I hate it. I really hate it. But as As we burn that off, as we stop working with it, as we just have to ban it because it's just so evil, and that's going to take a lot of changes because our government is totally bought off right now. Politicians are completely bought off or scared off, and so these kind of poisonous seed companies are allowed to flourish in the world right now. Our food chain is completely full of genetically manipulated organisms. The animals, the meat we get, if it's not organic, the animals are being fed this, and it has an effect on their health, which has an effect on our health. So I don't trust the food supply right now. And so I believe in being prepped as far as our food. I don't really trust the electrical systems right now. My people, Cherokee, talked about wormwood solar flares since whispered when I was a kid. Some people have been preparing to live underground for 6 months at a time. For years and years they've been preparing for this. Massive solar flares could cause disruptions in the electrical supply chain, and we are such wimps and babies right now. Many people would not survive. Many people are just very sick and unhealthy because of their diet, because of a very sedentary lifestyle, watching too much TV. Our minds are poisoned. Our bodies are poisoned by fluoride in our water, fluoride in our toothpaste. Kids are poisoned through getting their shots. There's too many heavy metals in the shots. And so I just see a very toxic system. Now, as a medicine woman, I want to come in on this perspective. I don't believe that the Great Spirit Creator will allow this world to fall into ruination. I don't believe that we will come to an end of mankind on this earth. I do, however, foresee a period of time where many millions of people could be removed from this earth. One, by governments right now that are just out of control with greed and hunger. Used to be, it was a kind of, if you were on the top, here were your masses under here. This one at the top was more of a servant, more of a servant. Now it's gotten to be where, it's reversed, and it's just reversed. There are tyrants ruling the world right now that are totally out of their kind of like heart center, wanting to be a servant to the people. It's all about greed, control, manipulation, and money. Money, greed. When the Bible talks about, money being the root of all evil, it really is shown to be the case in the period of time that we're living in. Money has caused people to do horrendous things, from being bought off to the seeds, to the petroleum-based medication, to wars over oil, to the atrocities that are just happening in this world right now. And so, be a prepper. I encourage everyone to be a prepper. And I'm going to tell you how we started. In 2008, we lost everything when the economy crashed. My husband is a builder-developer. He lost his construction business. We lost our condo. We lost our newer cars. We were down to just a few canned goods in our home. I wasn't really practicing my medicine at that time, my medicine woman ways, for a couple of years, because my husband, when all that happened, he became extremely depressed and extremely ill, and he was my priority for a few years. So we ended up coming to Pittsburgh, where he owned this little house that his father and grandfather had built. His father had made him promise on his deathbed never to sell this house. So we ended up coming back to this house, and excuse me, that's delicious. Well, we had ended up coming back to this house to just kind of resettle our life, and when we did, we said, we will never, ever, ever be in debt again. We will never, ever, ever be in a position to where we are so controlled by the system. Never going to get our pants caught down again, which, was super frustrating for both of us, because his parents were Depression era survivors, and they always had 2 years of food in this house. Always. I came from Appalachian folk medicine people that always had a couple years worth of food in the house. They always had big gardens, and they were canning and had chickens and pigs and cows and you know, all of it. And I had gotten away from all that to live, you know, with him when we got together in a city environment, in a condo with just, you know, like you run to the grocery store, get what you want, you know, and then all of a sudden, one day, everything was cut off. So we learned a really brutal lesson about, you know, preparedness. You've got to be prepared. It doesn't have to be a huge global catastrophe. It could be as much as just losing your job and going down to an eighth. We were literally down to an eighth of our income that we were used to. At that time, I was doing art and some healing work, but mainly art, and I was doing very well with art sales. One day, nobody's buying art. He was building houses. One day, you know, all his investors were pulling out. He lost everything. He lost his life savings. And so we learned at that time to just be prepared. So what I did was I started just when I would go to the regular grocery store and they had buy one get one free, or they had 10 for 10, you know, maybe cans of spaghetti sauce or something. I would get the 10 instead of getting one or two. I would get, you know, double. Whenever they had a buy one get one free, I would take one, we would use, the other one we would stash back. And the intention was, first of all, to have a week's worth of extra food, then have 2 weeks, then have a month. Then we worked it to 6 weeks, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and then a year. Once we hit a year, we started working on, you know, getting 2 years. But also at that point, I started really working with my 2 sons, you know, wanting them to prep, talking to them. They really got into it. So I have some things distributed out in different places now. We're really fortunate to be not a 3-4 hour drive to DC, so I can go to the Latter-day Saints cannery and get, you know, boxes of beans and rice and oats and things like that. So we're to that point now where we can get cases of things. We you know, started looking into how could we heat our home if the power was out, and so we, you know, got some firewood, made sure the fireplace was in good working order. We got some kerosene lanterns in case the power went out. We started putting up a lot of I make a lot of herbal preparations, so I have a lot of herbal preparations. I grow a lot of herbs. We started getting into some wild crafting, you know, like gathering up acorns to make bannock, learning how to do that, you know, how to work with turning an acorn into something that you actually can eat. We started inner planning. We have a little tiny city lot, so we just started inner planning, like permaculture, in our flower beds, and I'm working on him right now to get me to put take out some ornamental things and to put in berry bushes and to put in fruit trees and things like that. Protection, or, you know, I am not a pacifist. I believe that if someone breaks into your home seeking to do harm, you certainly have a right to protect yourself. And so we have, you know, legal ways of protecting ourselves. And my sons spent some time training me. You know, I grew up, of course, in the country. We shot guns all the time. People hunted all the time, fished all the time. But like I said, I'd gotten away from it for a number of years. So my sons worked with me on, you know, like, here, Mom, this is how you have to cap somebody if they come in on you. My husband took some Krav Maga classes, some self-protection classes. And, you know, we do believe in protecting ourselves. Plus, we're just plain old, you know, working with not being foolish as far as, you know, where you are. You can be foolish as far as where you place yourself, right? I'm going to talk a bit more on prepping. I'm about down to my 15-minute limit, which you can load on Facebook. So I'll talk some more on this soon. But remember, I think everybody should be a prepper without a doubt. You know, put back some extras. Be prepared for at least a week or two, then up to a month, then months and months. That way you're not a victim. That way you're not a walking victim in this world. You're able to take care of yourself and your family, okay? All right, that's just my intuitive knowing. I know something's big is getting ready to happen in this world. All right, and I want you guys to live and flourish and enjoy. All right, bye guys. Talk to you soon.